Good morning, everybody. This is Mark from Apple Leisure Group's account implementation team, and today we're going to go over a few different things regarding Europe. We're going to do a FunJet Vacations Europe multi-stop booking, and we're also going to dive into travel impressions and talk about the Villas of Distinction and also some escorted tours by Cedar Tours and Blue Roads. So first off, I am in the FunJet Vacations Anchor Store page. And what we're going to do from here is get into the multi-destination option. And to do that, from here, what you're going to do is go down from your Book Now area and click on multi-destinations. And so from here, we're on multiple destinations. You're going to select your region. You have the option for Hawaii, Asia, you can do Costa Rica, Europe, Panama, and South Pacific. So I'm going to go ahead and select Europe multi-stop. You can also do hotel only multi-stop if you choose to. So the one thing with multi-stop reservations is it can get tricky when you get to a bunch of different destinations. So what I like to kind of say is think about it this way. Go from point to point. Think about how to get from point A to point B and what you need. And you'll see that just shortly when we actually go ahead and create this as well. So what I'm going to do is just plug something in. We're going to go to London and Paris today. That's a pretty popular destination out for Europe multi-stop. So, because a lot of you are from Oklahoma, I'm going to plug in Oklahoma City. I always like to add travel protection while I have my pricing because it's always easier to remove it instead of adding a price on after you quoted your customer. I'm going to select dates in November, so far enough out for us. And let's say here, 14th of November. I'm going to go to London. So you can plug in London, or if you know the airport code, you can. But once you start typing the destination, it gives you the options for the different areas. So I'm going to go into Heathrow, so LHR. I'm going to do 4 nights. And if you see here below, I have highlighted, it says, please note your flight to this destination departs and arrives on different dates. So a lot of flights out to Europe are going to be an overnight flight. And so the reservation system will offset that for you. Below here, you see a couple different boxes. The one that says a flight is required, I cannot do anything with that because you have air and hotel. It is going to require a flight. You do have, however, the option to remove the hotel if you don't need the hotel in first destination per se. Let's say they have family or friends out there that they're going to stay with, or also a rental car. But in this case, I'm going to keep the hotel. I'm not going to need the rental car because there's plenty of transportation options out in Europe to and from the airport, taxis, rails to different destinations, and so forth. If you click on where this little arrow right next to it says additional hotel options, it allows you to select a specific hotel name or a brand or hotel chain. You can offset your hotel dates from here as well. My recommendation is leaving this blank and using the filters within the reservation system when you actually pull up your availability. So now we're going to go to destination 2. And like I was saying, how are we going to get from point A to point B? So we're going to go to Paris. We're going to go to Charles de Gaulle. And we're going to do 5 nights. So how are we going to get from London to Paris? Are we going to need a flight? I'm going to keep that selected and show you something within the reservation. Do we need a hotel? I'm going to keep that selected because we need a hotel. Do we need a rental car? I'm not going to use a rental car, so I'm going to deselect that. You can also add an additional destination if you choose to by clicking on Add Additional Destination. Once it refreshes, you scroll down a little bit more, you're going to be able to add your other destination. You can get several different destinations on here if you choose to. If you do not want that destination anymore, just hit Remove Destination. And from there, it will refresh and keep everything as you originally had it for your dates and destinations. At the bottom, where it says Return Flight, you actually do have the opportunity to go back to a different city. This is what we call an open jaw reservation. You're going to fly from one city, take your vacation, fly back to a different city. You are able to do this within the multi-stop function. We're going to just keep it back to Oklahoma City. You also have additional flight options here by clicking on this arrow, and it gives you a couple different options for you. You can ask for a specific airline, cabin preference, coach, premium economy, business, first class, or number of stops. Again, recommendation is use the filters within your search once you pull it up, because if you select a specific airline cabin preference, or let's say you go for a nonstop and nothing's available, you're going to get an error message. So I like to leave these ones on the search page blank, and then do the filters within the search when you get everything pulled. So from here, we're just going to hit search. And so basically what's going on is Vax is thinking about all of the availability within these destinations. So multi-stop, it typically takes a little bit longer than a single stop destination to pull up the availability. Okay, just waiting on that. All right, so it's got everything pulled up. So here's your price stamp. We're just not going to pay attention to that because it's pre-selected everything that's least expensive. We want to customize our package. So our price stamp we're going to not pay attention to. So first thing first is it pulls up our flights. You have options to sort by. If you click on this sort by filter up here, you can go price, lowest to highest, airline A to Z or Z to A, number of stops, the length of time, or the actual time of the flight. I actually prefer to use these filters on the left-hand side. You can put in the flight number here. So if, for example, we're going to do flight 6377, you'll put 6377 in there and it will pull up for you. You can't put in the actual airline code though. You have this option here of dragging this down for your package price total. So if the customers have a budget and you don't want to exceed, let's say 6,000, just drag it to 6,000 and it will update. Departing times. I selected morning, but you can do afternoon or evening. You can use your filter for arrival time if you choose to, number of stops, and specific airlines. So I'm going to do one stop. Not going to really care about the airline at this moment. So it filtered everything down to 15 flights for us. And so from here, you see we have an 8 a.m. flight from Oklahoma City through Dulles, gets in at 6:40 a.m. So there's that option. Or if you just scroll down, you can find other options if you choose to. So I actually don't mind that option. It's got a little bit long of a layover, and that's going to be up to the customers though. So I'm actually going to scroll down and see if we can find something with a shorter layover. And I actually like this 11:05 through Chicago. You get in at 1:18, you leave at 3:55. So I'm going to select that. Next that will pull up will be the flights from London to Paris. For this one, I'm just going to select anything because I'm actually going to remove that, and I want to show you that you can do that within the Vax system for your flights in between the destinations, or of Hawaii, inner island. Now for the return, we only have 3 flight options here. So you have morning flights, and then you arrive in the evening or at night, and single stop. So you can use these filters. I'm actually just going to keep it here. And I actually like this 11:40 a.m. flight through O'Hare, gets back at 9:59. I'm going to select that. So now we're just basically at an itinerary summary screen. Now we can customize it as we want. So I'm going to go down to the first destination, which is London. I'm going to click on hotels and look for a hotel that the customers would like. So in this case, I'm going to see if the Park Grand is available. I've heard that's a great hotel. Customers are looking for that, so I'm going to see if that's available. I'm actually just going to use my filter. So let's see if Park is available. Okay, it is not, because if it was available, it would pull down here. and you could click on it and it will filter it over. So that would not be an option for the customers. So I have to delete that. So let's see what we have available. I'm going to sort by, let's see here, preferred hotels. And go over here. Sorry, it looks like things are just lacking up a little bit, so just bear with that. We're going to select a 5-star property. Okay, there we go. And you can actually look at point of interest as well. So let's say they want something close to Buckingham Palace. I'm going to use that filter. So now we're down to 51 hotels. You can select whatever hotel you want. If you want to see the profile, you click on the name. And you can see pictures of the hotel, accommodations, look at dining options or any activities that are around the area. You can also view it on a map if you click View on Map, which I will do, and so you'll kind of see where it's located. And then if you can zoom out or zoom in if you choose to. Alright, so I'm going to close that. And just kind of scroll down and see what hotels are possibly interesting to my clients. Alright, Park Grand London Lancaster Gate. Alright, let's see what type of room categories they have available. So I clicked on the plus sign next to the hotel name to expand the room categories. And let's go Club Double Room. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go in my features and look at feature options for the customers as well. So let's say they want maybe a rail or a Eurostar to go over from London to Paris. That's a very popular option for these destinations, and I'm going to show you how to filter for that too. So when we are in our features, in your filter results, you have ground transportation. I'm going to select rail. And you see different Eurostar options, and if you scroll down a little bit more, you have your Brit Rail options as well. So let's say they are looking to go for a premier class, London to Paris. You have the options to choose a peak time or mid-off peak, so 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm going to use that one. And so you're going to select a date. So select the date that they want to go over to Paris. In this case, we have them checking out on the 19th of November. I'm going to actually change that to the 19th of November and add to my cart. And so now because we have that transportation option, we can go up here and remove this flight from London to Paris. So you go ahead and click remove, it will update this. Alright, so it went over to our features again. I'm going to collapse that because I do have my Eurostar on there. If you actually want, you actually have options to deselect your filter and just click on ground transportation, and you'll be able to choose transportation from your hotel over to the rail station if you want as well. Next destination is Paris. I'm going to click on my hotel to see what's available and see if we can get this filter to work. So let's say they're looking for the Chateau Frontenac. I'm going to start typing Chateau. See if anything's available. Well, it's spinning, so it's thinking. But, alright, so it doesn't look like that's available, but just to kind of show you how it'll work. So this Ulysses Union, so if I start typing out Ulysses Union, normally it'll pop up there, but it looks like it's just thinking, so it's just kind of lagging behind. I'm going to click Find and let this update for us. I am sorry, it looks like VEX is a little bit slow at the moment. Alright, so hit Find. Alright, it's just frozen a little bit, so let's wait for that to update. Alright, so it's updating our results, and see it filters it down to this particular property. You can click on your room categories to actually see what's available. Scroll down. Keep in mind for these non-refundable rates, with the travel protection, it's not covered. So just be careful of those because those are non-refundable at time of booking. If I want to remove my filter, just go to the hotel name, and let's click find again. So now it pulls up all the other hotels. So I'm going to go down, and Hotel Le Litre is actually a very popular one as well. So I'm going to look to see if there's a room category that's not a non-refundable room, and book that for the customers. So let's go ahead and get that expanded. Alright, so non-refundable. Alright, so we have a standard double or twin room that is refundable, so I'm going to go ahead and select that one. Alright, let me select that. It's just taking a little bit, just bear with me. There we go. Now let's wait for that to update, and then we'll go ahead and do it. I apologize, it's just got a pretty good lag at the moment. Let's close that. Hit select again. So we're back at our itinerary summary screen. Go to features, see if they want any features. Just for purposes, I am not going to add features, but as well here, you have the option for your ground transportation if you choose to. Any dining features out there, sightseeing tours, shows, anything out there, you can use these filters in here. But I am not going to actually add any in Paris. You can save your itinerary if your customers aren't ready to book or willing to give in your names yet. So you click on Save in your itinerary searches, and it saves it for up to 14 days. It doesn't save availability or pricing, but it will save what you're looking at. And once you pull up your saved itinerary, if it's not available, it will tell you that in big red lettering. All right, so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and book it. So I'm going to go ahead and check out. And so the checkout page, remember, is where we want to quote our customers in case anything does update in pricing or availability. This is where it would be. All right, so it does say special notice. It says, please note your vacation price is adjusted to accommodate the overnight flight. So it will automatically at checkout offset your hotels to the correct dates for when you fly in. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. Here's all your taxes and not taxes and fees, but any hotel advisories that you have in here. You have cancellation policies, resort fees or hotel imposed fees. Those are going to all be in your hotel advisories. Any type of vacation package, you have to either select a coverage or decline it. In this case, we did select it. I'm going to put in names. All right, so where do I want it? I'm going to plug in my name and just select the date of birth. All right. You can enter your frequent flyer numbers at time of booking, and same thing with special service requests. I always mention that to do it at time of booking, just because the way a lot of hotels are nowadays with a direct link. Once the reservation is booked, you're not going to be able to add those requests, and you'll have to call in or email, or reach out to the hotel directly yourself and shoot them one over an email or give them a call to put in those requests. All right, who's going to come with me? Let's say I'm going to go with my sister. It's actually her birthday coming up tomorrow, so I'll say let's go with my sister. Here's where you can add your special service requests at time of booking. Hotel requests, you can add your remarks in here for either property. Flight requests, you can put those in there if you choose to. And for your Eurostar, because it says between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., you're going to have to select a time. So I'm going to put 11 a.m. Seat assignment feature. You are able to book seat assignments prior if you choose to. What I like to do is actually do it with the airline directly once I create the reservation. That way there is no lag between VAX, the GDS system that's used to book the flights, and the airline's reservation system, because sometimes there is a lag between there and something may not be available. Down here is your payment information screen. Not going to really touch base too much on that. It's pretty self-explanatory. It gives you the deposit date and the deposit amount, your full payment due date, and your actual total gross. Your total amounts of payment is what you've paid, and then your balance will reflect whatever you paid less that full amount. Payment information down here. You can schedule an email reminder if you choose to by selecting this. You select a date of which you want the email reminder sent, and then the email address you want it sent to. Got your terms and conditions. You read those to your customers. Click on the I've read and explain the terms and conditions, and let's complete the booking. And so let's wait for that to refresh and give us a reservation number. Okay, just a few more seconds. And a few more seconds. I'm sorry. There we go. So we have our reservation number. We created a multi-destination Europe reservation. It's pretty simple once you actually learn to look at it from point A to point B. Because if you have 3 or 4 destinations on that, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So that's why I always like to point out, think of it going from one point to the next point. What do you need in that destination and how are you going to get there? Okay, so the next destination from there, I got destination 2 already, and we're going to 3. All right, how do I get there and what do I need in destination 3? That's the easiest way to look at it. It makes things a little bit simpler. All right, so from here, we're going to go over some villas of distinction information and also escorted tours. To get back there, anytime you want to change your vendors, you can click that VAX Vacation Access logo at the top left, and we can go into our different suppliers. So in this case, we're going to go over to Travel Impressions. And what I will show you is the areas where you can get the information regarding the villas of distinction and also the escorted tours, and kind of give you some brief talking points on it as well. And it does go towards your production, and you do receive commission on both of them. But one of them is a little bit different than the other. So it looks like it's just taken a little bit. So again, I'm sorry. All right, so we actually got a question. All right, familiar with the VAX booking process in FunJet, more with TI in Europe, so that's what we're going to go over. Offer the major cities, so you'll be able to see the cities in the actual drop downs. Smaller towns, so anything that's surrounding that actual airport code will pull up. So I can show you an example for that. This isn't really a destinations training. It's more of how to book things in VAX. And we also got a question how to check their commission and bump it up before quoting the customer. Okay, I can go ahead and do that real quick. So let me go back to FunJet and retrieve the reservation that we just made. So from here, I'm just going to go to retrieve reservations. I don't remember the reservation number, so I'm going to plug in my name. Booking date was today, so I can use that filter and hit search. Alright, so here's my reservation. It'll tell you booking date, departure date, origin, destination, any payment information, if there's a promo code, The status will be if it's active or canceled, and then the agent who booked it. So let's get that pulled up. Alright, so to look at your actual commission on your pricing stamp over here, under where it says booking administration, if you click on that, it'll show what your current commission is. If you want to add commission, you have to be in the availability screen. So you can do it during your price points, when you're pricing your package, or after the fact if you choose to. So in this case, because we already have our reservation, I have to go back down into modifications, change component. So in this case, I can do change component multi-stop, which is air, hotel, rental car, or feature, or just the land components, which is land, so the hotel, rental car, or feature. In this case, we only need to do that. It does take a little bit for when you click on that for it to pull back up into the availability. I'm going to go click on booking administration. You can increase your commission by an actual dollar amount or a percentage. In this case, I'm going to put in, let's say, 200. Hit set commission. It'll bump up your gross reservation total by that 200. So you see it went from $49.31 to $51.31. But the commission went from $225.83 to $405.83. So anytime you add an agency fee, there is a 10% processing fee. So in this case, $220 would be that 10% processing fee, so the commission would go up $180. Once you hit your set commission, you can hit close and proceed through checkout and complete your itinerary change. Alright, so scroll down, click your terms and conditions that you've read them, and hit complete itinerary change. So that's how you add an agency fee to the reservation. So let's get back to more of the villas, because the villas are actually going to be a great tool for you guys to use. And we're going to go into that screen and kind of play around with it quick. It's actually pretty reasonable. I'm actually trying to get a group of friends to use one of those options as well. So I'm going to go back to my Vax homepage so I can select a different supplier. Go into Travel Impressions. And if you have to use an actual airport code to answer Casey's question, pulling smaller towns, it will only pull towns that are close to that specific airport code. The villas does have some different options for you, kind of more on the countrysides and so forth like that. So once our travel impressions page gets in there, I'll show you kind of how you can see that. And again, I do apologize that it does seem like it's a little bit slow this morning. Alright, so we are in Travel Impressions main page. We're not really going to go over much of it. We're just going to go over the villa experience and also the multi-day escorted tours. So let's start out with the villas. So if you go down here in their showcase and you see where it says the villa experience, if you click on that, it'll load you to a different page. We book the actual villas through Villas of Distinction. So with this, you will get commission, and it will be capped at 10%. The cancel for any reason travel protection with travel impressions cannot be added to the package made through the Villas of Distinction. Um, it has to be through a third party. And we'll go over how you can book it or how you can request rates and everything like that. And basically from here, what will happen is you'll have a personal concierge for the group, and you can customize the experience with extra amenities if you choose to, such as adding a chef or dining experiences, room service, housekeeping, etc. And also the nice thing is with the Villas of Distinction, using the Villa experience with travel impressions, the hold times are typically quite a bit less than it would be to just call standard reservations. So we are in our Villas experience right now. So you have the options of choosing your destinations. Here's all the destinations that they offer. So you have some destinations in Asia, you have Caribbean destinations, Central America, you have Europe, you have some Mexico ones, even United States, and also South Pacific. So you can select your specific area if you choose to. So let's say they're looking at the Amalfi Coast in Italy. You can click on that. And it'll take you to the actual villas that are available. So there's 45 villas that are available for us. It tells you the basic pricing per night, so starting from, and once you go in here and you kind of have an idea of what you're looking at, you can actually select the picture. And if you scroll down a little bit more, it gives you more information. So this one specifically has 4 bedrooms, up to 8 guests, it has 3 bathrooms, and a minimum night stay. So this one's a minimum of 7 nights. You can go over the overview. You can go under features. It also will give you rates. So it has different rates based off of your time period. So if you are looking at November through December, it's a little bit lower than May through September, or September through November. So it doesn't look like it's available for the first couple months of the year. It tells you what the actual security deposit is and check-in times and check-out times. So from here, what you can do is you can actually look for availability here by filling out the inquiry here and sending it over, or you can call. Or if you choose to, you can scroll down and look to see when it's available or not available. So let's see here. And it gives you the location. And let's go here. Let's go back up to the main page up here and look at different destinations. Let's look at Croatia. And it looks like there's a couple of them. And also, before I forget, it'll tell you the villa name and also the specific area. So it might not be a big destination. It might be out in the country a little bit more in a smaller town. But this is where you would see which specific area it is. It also gives you expert tips and kind of must-sees and do's if you choose to. And also popular concierge services. So let's actually look at what's available for specific dates. I'm going to click on arrival date, and let's see here. Doesn't give me another arrow. Oh, there it is. Let's go November 7th through the 14th, and let's say 6 guests. Let's go ahead and hit search. and see what comes up available for us. Alright, so we have actually 28 different villas available, and you can see some that say starting at a specific price point, some say call for pricing. The ones that are call for pricing, you'll be able to give Travel Impressions a call, or Villas of Distinction a call, and you'll be able to get a pricing for it. So if you just select one of them, let's see here, I'm going to go with the Garden over in Croatia. Beautiful property. And it will not allow you to book from the specific page, but it will give you the information, and you will need to call. And again, I'll show you where that information is. Here's the number to call, 800-289-0900, or send the inquiry here. But in order to book, you'll actually have to go through them. You won't be able to book it directly on the website. You'll be able to see availability and stuff, and possibly rates, but you won't be able to actually book it from here. It does also offer different collections, so different sports. So maybe someone's more into golf, ski, snow, tennis. You got lifestyles here, events, and also unique. So you can look at a private island per se. So let's click on that. I have not actually clicked on that one yet. Okay, so here's a couple different ones that have separate private islands. So you can Bora Bora, or I should say Bocas del Toro, not Bora Bora. That looks beautiful. You got Belize. You have Grenada, British Virgin Islands, Bahamas, French Polynesia, and more British Virgin Islands. So there's all different types of things that you can customize for your customers by using this villa experience. When you think about it, the per person night rate isn't horrible compared to a resort or a hotel in a lot of cases. Like when we looked at that Amalfi Coast one, there was one that said about $1,000 per night. If you split that up between 6-8 people, that's $120 a night roughly, which is actually a pretty good deal compared to maybe some resorts that you're looking at around the same per person price, and possibly even more. So that's the Villas of Distinction. It's pretty easy to navigate while you're in here. I actually go in here and just look at the different destinations to see what's available. So I thought Tuscany was a great area. So I clicked on that actually just last week to see what's available. And this one actually offers a little bit more, so you get 144. Again, it'll tell you the specific area. So if you see some of these are just beautiful and it makes you actually want to go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our Travel Impressions main page and go over the multi-day Discovered Tours. I'm going to click on that, and it will tell you the specific region. But before we actually go over that, we offer two separate companies. We offer SITA Tours and also Blue Roads. And the destinations are going to be for SITA, Africa and the Middle East, Asia, Europe, Australia and South Pacific, India, South America cruise extensions. You have Blue Roads, which is also Europe, North America, and Asia. So they don't offer the Middle East, Africa, Australia, and South Pacific. So we do have two different companies we use. You actually do have to call in to Travel Impressions in order to reserve them, and I will type in the phone number into the chat. So it's 800-284-0044, or it is 800-284-0022. Whichever number you call, you just follow the prompts to the location that they want for their tour, and you'll be redirected to either a SITA representative or a Blue Roads representative, and they'll help you get everything set up. The nice thing about these escorted tours is they're pretty small, often 18 people or less. So the two companies with SETA and Blue Roads, they have a lot of capability when assisting a customer, and they can even add FIT bookings at the end of the tour. So here's kind of an example is UK maybe for an 8-day tour, and then maybe they want to head out to Hong Kong for 3 days. They're going to be able to do that. And also your normal travel impressions commission applies with escorted tours. So unlike the Villa experience, that caps your commission at 10%, this you get your normal commission. And just kind of a quick overview of some of the escorted tours. Let me get back to the main page. So like we mentioned, it is small groups. If you do like the experience by Backroads, here's some of the actual tours that are included, like the Corners of Cornwall. It's 7 days, 6 nights. And it kind of gives you a brief little explanation of what to expect. So you have seated table cuisine, take private tour, see the sandstone cliffs of the Jurassic Coast, or the heart of England, which is see the birthplace of Shakespeare. You can roam Hogwarts if you want to. So these are a few of the destinations, and we'll actually get in there. This is just a quick little highlight of the actual experiences. Asia. You can do China. There's a 10-day, 9-night one there where you can climb the Great Wall, visit the Imperial Tomb, home of the Terracotta Warriors. And for me, I love the Asian culture. I've been out to Japan and South Korea, and I love the mix of culture and new technology out there, and I think it's fascinating. So this is one that I'm actually interested in doing at some point. Also taste the local cuisine, Peking duck, dumplings, homemade noodles. You have highlights of Indonesia, which is a 7-day, 6-night tour. Puppet shows, you can go to markets, you can enjoy traditional dances and experience local culture on your own for a couple days. Same thing with Best of Korea. This is a phenomenal destination. You're going to get the mix of the old and new. They have one of the largest markets and a bunch of beautiful temples. It's a great place to go, and they're actually very friendly out there. You have Africa and beyond. So a couple of them are Splendors of Africa. It's an 18 days, 17 nights. You can ride a cable car on top of Cape Town's Table Mountain. Search for wildlife on game rides. Experience the Victoria Falls, which is quote-unquote the Smoke-Fed Thunders. You have Spiritual Footsteps of Jordan. It's a 9-day, 8-night tour. You can see one of the best preserved examples of the Roman civilization out there. You can get a guided tour through the ancient city of Petra and visit a couple other small religious towns that are pretty significant. Same thing with Abu Dhabi. There's a 6-day, 5-night tour there. Here's kind of a little bit on the Villa experience. Here's the destinations that have been added. So the new destinations of Panama, Portugal, Scotland, Puglia, Italy, Bali, Sri Lanka, North and South Carolina, and Grand Cayman. And you'll be able to see that in that drop-down area. So everything is tailored to you for the villas. And basically, it's every villa that is offered meets the strict standards, and Villas of Distinction pick out the finest properties for you. And the knowledge that they have is amazing, so you actually be able to get good service while you're actually doing it as well. So let's go back to Avax. So let's get back to where we clicked on our multi-day tours. So let's get back here. Alright, so it took me to a different page, so I gotta get back in Avax. Okay. Just waiting for my backs to pull back up. I apologize. So, actually, Penny Seaver is on the line, and actually, she made actually a very good point. So, if you look at a city like Naples in Italy, TI has 450 plus lodging options for you. Hotels, apartments, B&Bs. There's an actual interactive map that is a great option to look at the areas if you're not sure of it. And same thing in TI, if you put in Sorrento, Italy, there's 80 options, and you can see different areas outside the main city by using that interactive map. Alright, so I am having issues with my backs at the moment, so let's see if I can open up another one. There we go. Let's quickly travel impressions. And let's go. I'm just waiting for it. I'm sorry. Just thinking. And thinking. Let's try this again. Location access. Oh, this isn't good. I'm sorry, it's just spinning and thinking and thinking and thinking. It's not being responsive at the moment. Let me try a different browser. Then maybe we can do something. Oh, there we go. So you have your specific areas on the map that you can choose from for your escorted tours. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to select one in that Splendors of Africa one that was mentioned in that little slide. If you click on that, it gives you the specific breakdown of your itinerary that you're looking for. And it gives you the departure dates as well, and any information that's needed. It gives you the tour inclusions as well. So here's what you can offer to your customers, the specific breakdown of this escorted tour. The actual hotel is not confirmed until the actual booking is completed, but it will give you roughly an option of what you're looking at for the actual property that will get booked for the specific night stays in each destination. So this one's actually a pretty long tour, so it's 18 days, 17 nights. So it gives you a day-by-day breakdown of what you're looking for. So like day 6 is in Kruger Safari. Spend another full day just viewing the wildlife in that national park. And it looks like you have a couple days in that area. And in the early morning, you have a drive, and then you fly to Johannesburg and spend the night at that nearby hotel. So here's a good way to actually present to your customers the day-by-day breakdown of what they're actually going to be doing on that tour. So let me actually go back here real quick. And go under, I'm just going to do my quick search over here. Maybe it'll be a little bit quicker. Click on Travel Impressions. I'm just going to select Hotel Only. And if you select a specific area, it'll the closest airport code, it'll pull the surrounding ones that are available for you. So you really just have to pick the closest airport, then look for the area around, and you can use the interactive maps for that. So, like Penny had that option of Sorrento. All right. RRO. Let's select November dates. Let's hit search. So you have 82 hotels that show pulling available for these dates. You can view the hotels on the map. And here's all the areas. So you can zoom in and zoom out. It will tell you the specific kind of areas that you're looking at. So the Hilton Sorrento Place is in here somewhere, so that's A. So let's find where that one might be. That's right here, right on the water. Or you have the Grand Hotel Parkers, which is right over here in a different little neighborhood. So you're going to be able to see the kind of areas that you're looking at. Just make sure to use that interactive map, and it'll tell you how close it is from the airport as well, and also where it will be near. And remember to use your filters if you actually have a specific neighborhood or anything that you're looking for. It does give options on a bunch of different destinations. Right now, it's not available for all Europe destinations, but quite a few of them, like we saw in London, where it gives neighborhoods like close to Buckingham Palace or close to Big Ben. We are going to be expanding that. It's just not done quite yet. So we are going to add more neighborhoods and points of interest for Europe destinations. So that's coming down the road. But that interactive map is actually a great tool, and thank you, Penny, for mentioning that, because you're going to be able to see the areas around, not just that specific airport. So what I'm going to do, and we actually have about 5 minutes till the next training starts with another individual. I'm going to stop the recording from here and then unmute everybody for questions. So let me go ahead and hit stop.